Hello friends. Today I'm answering 5 of the most common and controversial gardening questions I get asked all the time. We'll dig into the science behind these myths, and I promise, some answers will surprise you. Questions like, does light hurt plant roots? Do potted plants need soil changes? And is there really a miracle rooting hormone in mothballs? We're putting these to the test and separating fact from fiction. If you're ready to level up your gardening game, let's get started. Now let's dive into the first question. The world beneath our feet is a bustling ecosystem, teeming with life that plays a vital role in the health of our planet. And when it comes to our gardens, whether they're sprawling landscapes or cozy container arrangements, understanding this hidden world can make all the difference. Today we're diving into the fascinating topic of earthworms in potted plants. Should you add these wriggly creatures to your containers? It's a question that many gardeners ponder, and the answer isn't always a straightforward yes or no. So let's explore the pros and cons of introducing earthworms to your potted plants. It sounds great. Worms aerate soil. They are nature's little tillers, constantly burrowing and moving through the soil, creating tiny tunnels that allow air and water to penetrate deeper. This aeration is crucial for healthy root development, as it ensures that plant roots have access to the oxygen they need to thrive. Without proper aeration, soil can become compacted, hindering root growth and leading to a host of problems for your plants, and create rich fertilizer. Worm castings, the byproduct of their digestive process, are a powerhouse of nutrients and beneficial microbes. These castings act as a slow-release fertilizer, providing plants with a steady stream of essential elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Moreover, the microbes in worm castings help to improve soil structure and suppress plant diseases, creating a healthier environment for your plants to flourish. But not all worms are suited for pots. Just like there's a wide variety of plants, there's also a diverse range of earthworm species, each with its own unique habitat preferences and behaviors. Understanding these differences is key to selecting the right worms for your potted plants. Introducing the wrong type of worm can lead to disappointment or even harm to your plants. Deep burrowing garden worms like night crawlers, those large, familiar worms you often see after a rain shower, need more space than a container provides. These worms are adapted to living in extensive underground networks, where they can tunnel deep into the soil in search of food and moisture. Confined to a small pot, they simply won't have enough room to roam and fulfill their natural behaviors, and will likely die or escape. A nightcrawler trapped in a pot will either perish from lack of space and resources, or it will attempt to escape, potentially leaving your pot and ending up in an unsuitable environment. The best choice is red wigglers, also known as red worms or composting worms. Surface-dwelling composting worms that thrive in the top few inches of soil. These worms are perfectly suited for breaking down organic matter near the surface, making them ideal for container environments where food scraps and decaying plant material tend to accumulate. To keep them happy, maintain consistent moisture. Red wigglers need a consistently moist environment to survive and thrive. Dry soil can be fatal to them, so it's important to water your potted plants regularly and ensure that the soil doesn't dry out completely. And add organic matter like compost or coffee grounds. These materials provide a food source for the worms, ensuring that they have the energy they need to aerate the soil and produce nutrient-rich castings. Avoid adding worms to pots with delicate seedlings. Young seedlings have fragile root systems that can be easily disturbed or damaged by the activity of worms, or very small containers. They can damage fragile roots. In a small pot, the worm's movements can disrupt the delicate root systems of seedlings, hindering their growth and potentially leading to their demise, or struggle in limited space. Overcrowding can lead to stress and competition for resources, which can negatively impact both the worms and the plants. For best results, use worms only in larger pots, 5 gallons or more. Larger pots provide ample space for both the worms and the plants to thrive, ensuring that the worms have enough room to move around and the plants have enough space to develop healthy root systems. With established plants. Established plants are better able to withstand the activity of worms and benefit from the improved soil aeration and nutrient availability that they provide. Done right, worms and plants form a great partnership. Healthier soil, better growth, and natural fertilizer. It's a symbiotic relationship that can transform your container garden into a thriving ecosystem. But ignore these basics, and you risk harming both your plants and your worms. So do your research, choose the right worms, and provide them with the proper environment, and you'll be well on your way to creating a flourishing container garden with the help of these amazing creatures. Alright, let's dive into the world of gardening myths and misconceptions. There are so many old wives' tales floating around, passed down through generations, that it can be hard to separate fact from fiction. Today, we're tackling a big one, a classic myth that has plagued gardeners for years. It's time to put on our myth-busting hats and get ready to uncover the truth. The question we're addressing today is, should you put gravel at the bottom of your pots for drainage? It seems like a logical idea, right? A layer of rocks to help water escape and prevent soggy soil. It's a practice that many gardeners swear by, claiming it's the secret to healthy, thriving plants. But is it really? Let's investigate. The short and sweet answer is no, absolutely not. In fact, adding gravel to the bottom of your pots can actually do more harm than good. It's a gardening practice that needs to be retired. Gravel, instead of improving drainage, actually creates what's known as a perched water table. This is a layer of saturated soil that sits above a layer of coarser material, like gravel. This perched water table essentially traps water above the gravel layer. The water struggles to move from the fine soil particles into the larger spaces between the gravel, leading to a buildup of water in the soil above. This trapped water creates a soggy environment around your plant's roots, making them far more susceptible to root rot. Root rot is a fungal disease that thrives in overly moist conditions, and it can quickly kill your plants. So, instead of improving drainage and creating a healthier environment for your plants, you're actually hindering drainage and increasing the risk of disease. Beyond the perched water table effect, gravel also reduces the overall volume of healthy soil available for your plant's roots to grow in. By taking up space in the pot, the gravel raises the saturated, soggy zone closer to your plant's delicate roots, further increasing the risk of root rot and other moisture-related problems. So, what's the best solution for ensuring proper drainage in your pots? A simple and effective method is to cover the drainage hole at the bottom of your pot with a piece of mesh. Alternatively, you can use a coffee filter. This allows excess water to drain freely while preventing soil from escaping through the hole. The only exception to the no gravel rule is if your pot has drainage holes located on the sides, rather than the bottom. But if your pot has a drainage hole at the bottom, skip the gravel. Even in pots with side drainage, using gravel is more of a temporary workaround than a permanent fix for drainage issues. For consistently healthy roots, always opt for pots with proper drainage holes at the bottom. If a pot doesn't have drainage, consider drilling some yourself. So ditch the gravel from the bottom of your pots. Use mesh or a coffee filter to keep the soil in place. And let your plants thrive with well-draining soil, proper watering techniques, and pots that allow excess water to escape freely. Science wins. Spread the word. Let's debunk those gardening myths one gravel-filled pot at a time. Happy gardening, everyone! Do potted plants need their soil changed? Absolutely, but not on a strict schedule. Over time, soil compacts and loses nutrients, making it harder for roots to breathe and absorb water. Signs it's time to repot: roots circling the pot, water running straight through, or your plant looking tired and yellow. Repotting with fresh soil gives roots more space, restores nutrients, and improves aeration. Fast growers may need repotting yearly, slow growers can go several years. You can also root prune and refresh the soil without upsizing the pot. Pay attention to your plant's signals. Repotting is a vital part of long-term plant health. Fresh soil, happy roots, thriving plant. Have you ever stopped to consider what happens when roots, those typically hidden heroes of the plant world, are exposed to light? It's a question that might seem simple on the surface, but the answer delves into the fascinating world of plant biology and adaptation. We often take for granted the intricate systems that keep our plants thriving, but understanding how roots react to light can unlock valuable insights into proper plant care. The real danger isn't necessarily the light itself acting as some kind of destructive force, but rather the indirect consequences that arise from that exposure, primarily drying out and overheating. Think of it this way, it's not the sunbeam that directly harms the root, but the rapid loss of moisture and the increase in temperature that the light facilitates. These are the true culprits that can lead to stress and even damage to the plant. Roots, through millions of years of evolution, have specifically adapted to thrive in the dark, moist environment of the soil. Their entire structure and function are optimized for this subterranean existence. They are the unsung heroes working tirelessly beneath the surface. Therefore, when roots are unexpectedly exposed to the open air and the sun's warmth, they quickly begin to desiccate. This rapid dehydration can severely compromise their ability to absorb water and essential nutrients, leading to wilting, stunted growth, and overall plant distress. It's like taking a fish out of water. The root is simply not equipped to handle such a drastic change in environment. Furthermore, light exposure can also encourage the unwelcome growth of algae, especially in clear containers used for hydroponics or rooting cuttings. This is because algae thrives in light-rich environments. This algae then becomes a direct competitor with the plant roots, aggressively vying for precious resources like oxygen and vital nutrients. This competition weakens the plant, hindering its growth, and making it more susceptible to diseases and other problems. It's a battle for survival that the plant often loses. This is precisely why hydroponic systems, which rely on exposing roots to nutrient-rich water, and standard plant pots, are almost always opaque. The darkness helps prevent algae growth. By blocking light from reaching the roots, we effectively prevent the proliferation of algae, ensuring that the plant has unimpeded access to the resources it needs to flourish. This simple measure can make a world of difference in the health and vigor of your plants. Beyond these practical considerations, roots also possess an inherent biological drive to avoid light. They are naturally programmed to grow away from it, seeking the darkness of the soil. This fascinating survival instinct is scientifically known as negative phototropism. It's a fundamental aspect of root behavior, ensuring that they remain safely tucked away in their ideal environment, shielded from the detrimental effects of light exposure. Therefore, to ensure the health and well-being of your plants, always strive to keep their roots shielded from light. This simple act will help prevent drying, overheating, and the unwanted growth of algae, all of which can significantly impact plant health. So, the real story isn't about light directly burning or damaging roots in some mystical way. It's more nuanced than that. The key is about protecting them from the various side effects that arise when they are exposed to light, such as desiccation and algae growth. Understanding this distinction is crucial for providing optimal care for your plants. In conclusion, opting for opaque containers is a simple yet highly effective way to promote healthy, happy roots and ultimately, thriving plants. It's a small change that can yield significant results in your gardening endeavors. Do mothballs contain rooting hormone? No, and using them is dangerous. Mothballs contain naphthalene, a toxic pesticide, not naphthalene acetic acid, NADA, the plant hormone used in commercial rooting powders. Naphthalene will not help cuttings root. It can actually kill them, and is hazardous to people, pets, and the environment. The confusion comes from similar-sounding names, but these chemicals are completely different. Never use mothballs in your garden. They're toxic and ineffective. For rooting cuttings, use proper rooting hormone products with NAA or IBA, which are safe and proven to work. Don't fall for internet myths. Always check the science and use safe, tested products. Protect your plants, your family, and yourself. Skip the mothballs. That's it. 5 common gardening myths now busted wide open with science. We learned that the right worms can actually be a big help, and that gravel at the bottom of a pot is more of a drainage disaster than a solution. While repotting your plants is absolutely essential for their continued growth, plant roots really do need darkness to thrive, and mothballs in the garden are unfortunately a toxic myth that should be avoided. I sincerely hope you now feel much more confident and ready to grow even healthier plants in your garden. If you found this video helpful and informative, please hit that like button, and don't forget to share it with a gardening friend who might also benefit. And please comment below with any other gardening myths you'd like me to tackle next time. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for even more science-backed gardening tips and exciting experiments. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, happy gardening to you all.